Representative Nancy Mace was reportedly forced to cancel a Thursday speech after the turnout wasn't near what she had hoped for. Nancy Mace was set to address a local chapter of Moms for Liberty. However, she ended up canceling that address after only about 8 people showed up to this event that was supposed to be around 100 people. So yeah, that's not very good. In fact, that's pretty terrible. Now that said, to be fair, she did show up and stuck around to speak with the few who did actually come to see her speak. So I guess you got to give her some credit that she didn't leave everybody hanging. The 8 people that showed up. All right. Now that said, organizers wanted about 100, and yeah, no, it just didn't quite work out for her. Now, Mace had told the press at her event that her campaign is, quote, winning by double digits everywhere, but particularly with folks who support the president. Which is funny because you think that those people would show up. Apparently not. You're winning the polls, but nobody shows up to your events. Seems a little odd, seems a little strange, but okay. I don't think it's going to help her with Trump's endorsement, which, of course, everyone on the Republican side is looking to get that endorsement. He hasn't given it out yet. Look, there is currently a 5-way fight over who Trump is going to endorse. Now, Mace, I mean, look, everybody's trying their own different ways, hiring people in Trump's orbit, but Nancy Mace managed to get that poll that I had previously mentioned right in front of the president, and he posted it over on his True Social. So, and this was, again, a poll showing her in the lead. Again, she personally put her poll on his radar, according to a person close to Mace and another person familiar with the matter. Mace's team also shared the results of that poll with multiple members of Trump's team before he ended up posting it on his social media platform, True Social.
Truth essential.
Well, good job. So she can find ways of getting stuff in front of his face. I mean, look, a lot of effort involved in that. Shouldn't she be, I don't know, doing things for her voters instead? Wouldn't that make more sense? I mean, all this effort to get this man's attention, whereas really you would think that it would make more sense for her to actually do things that help her voters so that they will turn out. Again, it doesn't make sense, but to me. But anyway, doing all that does not mean that he will give her his endorsement. Right now, Trump and his allies are I think that they're waiting to see who ends up winning this 5-way primary, or at least, you know, who makes it to like a runoff or something. Look, one of the ones who was running against Mace is Attorney General Alan Wilson, who said, quote, "I do not believe the president is inclined to get involved in this race anytime soon." Oh, interesting. But I do believe there is an opportunity in the future for me to earn his support, and I'm confident that at some point in the future, I will have that opportunity. Look, this is exactly the kind of situation that Trump loves, by the way. Like, when people are fighting over his endorsement, by, of course, showing how Trumpy they are. Of course. Hey, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, right? And there you go. You got a lot of people that are pretty much in this race imitating who could be the most Trumpy out of all of them in order to earn his favor. This is where we're at as a country. For example, Lieutenant Governor Pam Evette, who is also in this race, has gone all in on 2020 election denial. Election denial from 2020. Like, why does that? Well, it matters because Trump is still very much convinced that he won in 2020. So he's like, So Evette's like, oh yeah, no, I'm going all in and being like, oh yeah, 2020, that election, hoax, false, what is it, voter fraud. We got voter fraud everywhere, fake news. Biden didn't win. He stole the election. Aside from that, others have been, for example, hiring Trump campaign staffers. For example, Mike Young, okay, who was Trump's North Carolina state director in 2024, and John Bradbender, who created ads for the Trump campaign. They both work for Wilson now, the Wilson campaign. Evette has hired Chris Grant and Andrew Sarabian, Sarabies himself. While Mace hired somebody named Austin McCubbin, who worked on Trump's 2024 team, and Mike Hahn, who did digital operations for his campaign. Now, I mean, again, they're doing all the things, hiring Trump people, being Trumpy online, saying, oh yeah, no, election denial, we're all in that one. I mean, it's pretty sad. That said, May seems to be banking on those polls, which could change, as well as her getting in front of a camera, which Nancy Mace, that's something that she does a lot. Okay, if there's a camera there, odds are Nancy Mace is going to try to be in front of it. Okay, now, what's interesting about this dud of an event is it's probably not going to help her very much. All the negative attention. I mean, there's reports everywhere like Nancy Mace, her campaign event fails. 8 people showed up. Only 8 people. So if Donald Trump sees this, which it's possible he will, like, for example, I don't know, maybe if somebody from the other people running against Nancy Mace says, oh, hey, look at that. What a dud. I mean, she would have to do a lot more to prove that she would be worthy of said endorsement. This is what the Republican Party has become now. Okay? No longer really running on issues. They're running on who is most, like the cult leader. Okay? And that's probably why people really aren't showing up to her events. It's not really about people anymore. It's about who is most like Donald Trump. I mean, for example, Wilson's father, Representative Joe Wilson, has been known to literally carry around a photograph of himself with Donald Trump in his coat pocket. I mean, that's what it's become. How sad is that? How sad is all of this? And again, you don't really see anything comparative like this on the Democratic side, okay? Why? Because, well, the Democrats are not a cult of personality. In fact, you can argue that a lot of the Democrats don't even have really much of a personality. Okay. Again, a lot of the Democratic leadership. Okay. You think Chuck Schumer's got a gigantic personality that people can hang on to? No, not really. Not really. Okay. And look, there was nobody that was really wearing hats that were Kamala Harris hats, right? And nobody was groping a life-size cardboard cutout of Joe Biden. All right. Even the excitement around Gavin Newsom. Okay. The excitement around him it's not because, oh my God, Gavin Newsom, the greatest Democrat that's ever been. No, it's because he has actually showed up to fight against Donald Trump. That's really why people are like, on the Democratic side, are like, oh, Gavin Newsom. Oh my God, he's kind of got a backbone. Oh, he's showing up to fight against Donald Trump. Let's support him. Look, I'm not a fan of Gavin Newsom. Okay. I do not like Gavin Newsom. I don't really want him to be the Democratic nominee in 2028. I think that would be a terrible idea. Okay. That said, he is showing up to fight. And that is one of the reasons that Democrats are now floating him, and why they floated Cory Booker before. There is an appetite on the Democratic side to fight against Donald Trump and his horrific policies. Okay. And I do think that supporting people for that reason is a mistake itself. I really think that Democrats should be focused on supporting people who have policy positions that help the American people. I think that's also a goal, by the way, that does align with being against Donald Trump. I mean, look around. Republicans have really done nothing so far that actually helps the American people. I mean, for example, no tax on tips. Kind of a scam, right? Because you got to make, what, $25,000 worth of tips? Then you got to itemize your deductions and all that stuff. Who itemizes? I mean, for the most part, average workers, people who, by the way, are working in the service industry, they're not going to be, doing their taxes and then going through and itemizing their tips in order to get that deduction. Most people are going to take the standard deduction, which will likely end up being more or worth more to you, and also cheaper and easier to file, especially since they took away the free file option, all right, with the federal government. So that's what Trump, the Doge and all that, got rid of. They got rid of the option to be able to free file a 1040 easy form. So now that you have to go to one of these tax prep software companies that will charge you a lot of money just to file your taxes. So that's one of the things, another way that Trump has actually hurt average people. So that's a scam. You also have, of course, tariffs that are making things more expensive, inflation that has gone up, unemployment that is up. You've got health insurance costs that are getting ready to explode. But hey, rich people got a tax cut, so there you go. Oh, right, that doesn't help average people. Okay, look, at the end of the day, Republican policies and people, for example, like Nancy Mace, her war on transgender people, that is not going to help you afford groceries. And I'm saying that the whole time. The issues that Republicans are so focused on don't actually help average people. Again, trans people in sports, that's not going to help you afford a mortgage. Okay, going after those. Okay, the Republican Party has pretty much nothing for you if you're an average person, except for the politics of imagined grievance. Okay, and that's it. And hey, look, you can criticize the Democratic Party for not really offering anything of substance either. I get that, but at least they're not out there trying to make your lives worse like Republicans. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.